Helen.
And I'm Liz.
And we're sisters,
Scientists.
and lifelong X-Files fans.
And this is We Want to Believe. All right. Should we begin?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. I mean,
all right.
I'm not excited, though. I say that because I usually am. I'm actually incredibly nervous for this one.
Because of how they handle stuff with respect to Native American cultures?
Yeah, big time. I'm real nervous.
As it happens,
the word Anasazi is not used. So
I don't know much about that. And as it happens, although this episode is called Anasazi, there's very, very little Native American stuff in it. I think that's all coming for you next week, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sure. So I was going to do some research into that, but I got instead more into some research with some other remarks that were made at the end of the episode, and did my consult with a modern European historian.
Where did you find one of those? Yeah.
I thought, I know I'm going to want to consult with a historian a lot for this podcast. I should probably marry one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Like
9 years ago.
Yeah, I was right? Like, in about 8 years, I'll probably want to start a podcast about the X-Files, and it'd be really useful to have a historian around. So I should probably marry one now.
Yeah. So, and you thought about, what type of historian as far as, specialties.
I met with some other people in his department, and I was like, no.
Well, thank you, Adam.
Oh, God,
taking one for the team.
On my laptop. Yeah. Adam marrying me is taking one for the team for our podcast. Yep. Yes.
Yeah,
thank you for your service.
It. Right.
Yep. So it does open. So we're talking about the episode Anasazi. This is the season 2 finale. Ooh. And it does. I had a sudden sense that I had something I wanted to update us on.
Oh, I do.
Before we get into it. Oh, great.
I do. Okay. It's real dumb, important, depends on who you ask.
Okay.
I woke up humiliated the other day.
That's a weird way to wake up.
Yeah. By my own internal feelings, not like Zach was humiliating me in order to
Zach was like broadcasting you, live streaming, being like, this is Helen half asleep. Look at her hair. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I woke up and there are very few people that would have caught this or care at all. I don't think we have a big following of members of l'Académie Française. But just in case, when I was talking about how I talk to Gatsby in French, I said that I tell him, tu es un caniche mâle. You are a bad poodle.
Yeah.
I am using the wrong form of the word bad. Mâle refers to sick. I should be telling him, tu es un mauvais caniche.
Oh, he's a mauvais caniche.
He's a mauvais caniche.
Okay.
And so I had to bring that up because I was so horrified that people that speak French are going to listen to this and just be horrified and embarrassed on my behalf. Is it possible
that it could mean that Gatsby is like sick in the head? Like
maybe.
Caniche mâle imply that?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Which it's not perhaps entirely inaccurate.
Wrong. Yeah.
A normal poodle shouldn't eat socks as much as he does or rip apart books. So anyway, mauvais caniche. Il est un mauvais caniche. Oui. So that was my update.
That was your important update. Okay. Yeah. We talked last time about how jungles are trees. That was important. I mispronounced it's coatis, those little pointy animals. It's not coatis, it's coatis.
Wait, Coatimundi?
Coatimundi. Yeah, and so it's weird because it looks like the English word coat, C-O-A-T, but it's if it were a K, I think it'd be easier for our brains because it's like koala, like that sort of coati. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
These here. of coatis. And I
Oh,
just put a stuffed one on screen. I've had three of them on my couch since we got home. Two are going to go to William and Hugo, and one is going to Katie's daughter, Emmy. So,
oh,
and then I have my own that's upstairs with my other stuffed animals. So, but these
Kawadam,
ones have
Kawadamundi.
Kawadi, Kawadi, yeah. I'm
Okay.
not, and Monday versus Mundi, I don't know. I
Oh,
can't say
okay.
anything, but they just call them Kawadis for
Kawadis.
short. So,
Got it.
yes.
All right. Thank you. This has been a linguistics update. Oh, now he's looking
Yes.
over your shoulder. He's watching
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. And there's these other two
Yeah.
here. There's,
Oh God,
yeah.
those are cute.
I'm gonna take a quick screenshot to share with people. Did I do it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, now I did it. All right.
Okay.
Um, okay, so this does open on a Navajo reservation in New Mexico. There's an
Okay.
earthquake type thing, and then a teenage boy wakes up and tells his dad and grandpa, it seems to be based on the ages, he's going to go ride his dirt bike. I am getting vibes from the grandpa of like wise Native American who
Mm-hmm.
speaks in kind of cryptic, you know, meaningful things. The teenage boy seems normal enough. He goes out on his dirt bike and he finds like something that's like buried in the dirt that's kind of uncovered from the earthquake, I think. And it looks like the top of a ship or a building or something's been uncovered by the red dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of comes back and you see him yelling for his dad and grandpa's like and is like, uh, I don't know what's going on. What is this? And he's like, I found something. And the grandpa says it should be returned. They will be coming. And it's an alien corpse.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's the days of smartphones that I just can't. I would be like, I'd take a picture if I found
Yeah.
No, excuse me. We've decided what we would do if we found
Yeah.
an alien corpse.
Absolutely
Nothing.
nothing. Yep.
Absolutely nothing. We'd walk away. We'd pretend we saw nothing.
Yep.
But if I weren't to do that, I would just take a I would I'm like he's on a dirt bike. Did he put it in a bag? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the opening and we haven't had a message other than the truth is out there since the season 1 finale, which said trust no one. And this said something that was in another language. So I looked it up and it was the truth is out there in Navajo, or at least that's what Wikipedia says. I did not look into how good the translation was.
Okay.
Um,
I have a question already. Is this
yes,
all based in or on around the Navajo?
mostly no.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, the parts that refer to Native Americans,
Yes,
they're
it's all
exclusively
Navajo.
talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they mention the Anasazi? What people have
In
called?
passing at the end of the episode.
Okay, then I guess I'll hold all my comments for then.
Okay.
Okay.
And I know you have a meeting, so I'll kind of go through pretty quickly.
No,
Um,
you're good.
because I got a lot of other history stuff to say. But basically, we then see a blonde hacker dude who kind of gives Kurt Cobain, but hacker vibes. I don't know. Um, and he's like very pleased about something he found. And then we see like a guy in a suit speaking, I believe, Italian, going, someone's broken into the MJ documents. And then he calls a Japanese man, and the Japanese man calls a German man. And there's like all these dudes in suits making phone calls, speaking their language about what just happened. And it reaches the cigarette smoking man. And he's like, it was the phone call I never wanted to get. And then we see all these people go bust in in fatigues and with guns, bust into the hacker's house, but the hacker's not there. And then Mulder is awoken at his house by knocks on his door, and it's the lone gunman. And he's very cranky with them. He's like, I didn't sleep well. I'm not feeling well. What are you guys doing here? And he just seems like crankier with them than usual, which I thought was odd. And they talk about how
Is
there was
it
this hack.
is
Go
it
ahead.
odd in the episode or you just find it odd? Do you know what I'm asking? Like, do
At
we find out
that
why it's
point,
odd?
yeah, at that point, I wasn't sure. I
Mm.
thought maybe like, oh, this is maybe just a weird note, but it became clear that no, this is something.
Ah, got it. Okay.
And so it's this hacker named The Thinker. He's wanted, and his last communication was he's named a meeting place and time and says he wants to meet Mulder.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So all of a sudden, okay, Lone Gunman and Mulder are talking, and there's a gunshot in Mulder's building, and they
Oh,
run out into the hallway, and the neighbors are like, it was so and so, this old woman, she just shot her husband. They've been
oh
married for
my God.
years. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's weird. And at that point, I was like, wait, I think I remember something because I must have watched these episodes a bunch.
yeah.
Um, and I'll also say about the whole overarching conspiracy. I know there's a lot of talk kind of after the fact, after the X-Files ended, where people were like, the conspiracy, it was intriguing, but the writers couldn't have actually had a grand vision they were building to. It's like they just added layers and layers. At the time I was watching it, I was like, no, I can figure this out. And I still kind of want to believe, if you will,
I
that's the
will.
case. Yeah. It's the name of the podcast. So so I'm still kind of like, no, maybe there is something we could piece together here. Maybe they did have a vision. I don't know. We'll see. But the thinker meets with Mulder, and he's like, I have all of the Department of Defense's files on UFOs going back decades. He's
Whoa.
like, I didn't even have to try that hard to get them, honestly. I was surprised. So that's noteworthy to me. That doesn't get explained in the episode, but I just felt like I should make note of that they made it easy for him to get. I don't know.
Both like meaning that that seems suspicious that it was so easy for him to get them, or that you would like to try.
No, very much the former and not the latter.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like I know my skills. Hacking, not one of them. Unless I can like get to them by Google, like, and if
Yeah.
it's not on the first page, then probably,
Yeah.
it's on the third page of Google results. I don't know.
They would
Well,
want you to find it, and they'd have to keep making it like easier and
they're like
easier.
using SEO to get it to be a top result, and then it's like a sponsored ad on my Facebook or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is an update. If people have been listening a while, they may remember that Liz was testing whether or not
Donkey
our phones,
sanctuaries.
yes, whether or not our phones listen to us by talking about donkey sanctuaries.
Yeah.
I randomly had one come up on Instagram the other day.
No.
Now, to be fair, I follow a lot of wildlife sanctuaries on
Hmm.
Instagram, like
Hmm.
a lot.
Okay.
But mostly wildlife, like mostly foxes and raccoons and stuff.
Yeah.
Louie the raccoon, the rescue raccoon, was just voted this year's Cadbury Easter Bunny. He won the
Oh,
competition, and he's a
oh,
rescue raccoon. He's going to
this is
donate.
very interesting to the Coatis. This is a good episode for them to listen to.
Oh, it is.
I'm sure they're big fans of Louie the Rescue Raccoon.
Yeah. He's going to donate it then the prize money to the rescue organization. So
That's
he's very
nice
kind.
of him.
Yeah.
What a philanthropist.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Oh, so donkeys aren't wild
Oh,
animals, I believe is
right.
where you were
Donkeys are
going with
not.
it.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
where. Yeah. So I don't know.
So
Take that
maybe
to
it's
me what you will.
meaningful. Yeah.
Right. We'll
Yeah.
have to see.
Yeah. Donkey sanctuaries. I sure am interested in learning more about donkey sanctuaries and donating to them. I don't know. Doing my best. If any listeners start getting donkey sanctuary ads, please let us know. If
For real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Mulder calls in Scully to his office, and he's loading this cassette that he got from the guy like onto his office computer, which I feel like I'd use this on my home computer if I were you, but I don't know. Does he not have one? I don't know. It's 95. I don't know.
A cassette? Like a cassette
It's
tape or like
so they
a
call it a cassette. It doesn't look like an audio cassette. It's like thicker. I think it's some sort of like, look, I'm sure someone older than me would think this sounds ridiculous, but like the 90s equivalent of a thumb drive. Like it's
Okay.
like it's not I mean, this is still pre-CDs, but it's like much bigger than a floppy disk. It's
Oh,
like I
okay.
feel like it's something used to move data, like a external hard drive sort of situation.
Ah,
But
it's thicker than a floppy disk. Like it's not just one of the
yeah,
big ones. Oh,
no,
interesting.
no, it's
Okay.
it's like it's more like beefed up audio cassette, if
Hmm.
anything.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he puts it in his computer, and then he's all excited. He calls Scully in, shut the door, and then they open it and he's like, it's gibberish, and he's all mad. And he's like really got a temper about it. And Scully's like, hold on, I don't think it's gibberish. I think it's Navajo. I like, and she mentions how during World War II, she learned from her dad how there was Navajo code that was used, and the Japanese couldn't break the code. And she's like, I think this is Navajo. I remember my dad talking about this. And Mulder's still cranky, and he's like, I haven't been sleeping well. Um, so
Now, that is
yeah.
correct, right? Or no?
Mhm.
Is that something you checked with your historical source?
Oh, that I did not check. I do know that that was true, and not,
That's
it
what
was
I
true in some
thought.
capacity because there was like a movie
Yeah.
about it and stuff. Like, I
Right.
do know that Navajo was used as a code in World War II. I don't know the
Okay.
details about it, but I know our father does because
Yeah.
he's talked about it. So,
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Um, I thought you meant it's true Mulder hasn't been sleeping, and I was like, yes.
I need you to
So,
check on that.
yeah. Yeah. Adam, is
Call
it
him up.
true? Yeah. Um, so Skinner calls Mulder in, and Mulder's like, why? You got another jerk off assignment where I do your dirty work? And
That's
yeah,
his boss, dude.
yeah. Well, then Skinner's like, no, I hear you have some files. I don't know how Skinner heard.
Oh.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And Mulder takes a swing at him, and Skinner has to restrain
Whoa.
him. Yeah.
Whoa. I do not
So
remember that.
yeah, so stuff is going on with Mulder. And so Scully gets called into a meeting with Skinner and some other people and asked about Mulder's behavior. And they're like, "Are you lying for him? Are you covering anything up? We're gonna do, there's a disciplinary hearing, and if things come out that you were hiding stuff for him, you could lose your job too." And she's like, no, no, I'm not hiding
Mm-hmm.
anything. And of course she's hiding the fact that like Mulder has these files.
Right.
Uh so uh so then we go to Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, that's where Mulder's parents live, isn't it?
Yes. And side note, when I was a kid, I thought Martha Stewart had something to do with Martha's Vineyard. I
Oh,
thought it was
really?
like named after her, or maybe she owned it, or like, because I knew like she's fancy, it's fancy. And I don't, and it like, I think I just kind of assumed that, like, oh, well, clearly they got something to do with each other. How could there be two fancy things with the name Martha and have them be unrelated? And Bill Mulder answers the door. Two, would you like to guess who's there to visit Bill Mulder?
Cigarette smoking man?
Very good. Yep.
Woo.
And he's basically like telling him Mulder's got these files, and Bill's like, yeah, they should have been destroyed. And he's like, yeah, but they weren't. And he's like, you wouldn't hurt him, would you? And cigarette smoking man's like, I've protected him so far, haven't I? The last thing we need is a murder.
Oh
Um,
man, this is like really the first time Mulder's dad has been like implicated in
yeah.
being involved, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
pretty big.
Yeah.
We knew he worked for the government, but I don't think we knew
Hmm.
anything else. But ooh, is he implicated in things? Oh my gosh. Um, he he's a cigarette smoking man gives the advice that if Mulder learns of your involvement, deny everything. And that's all they say.
Mm.
They don't say involvement in what or anything yet.
Hmm.
Um, so Scully goes over to Mulder's house, wakes him up. He's clearly sick. She tells him about how she was called into this meeting and is like, my job's on the line. Is this worth it? And Mulder's very hostile and not good about it. But she's like, I'm worried. Are we doing the right thing? Is this legit? Being very sensible. And he's like, well, let's get more answers. And so he tapes up an X in his window. And I'm
Mm.
like,
Was
yeah,
was he is X in this one? No.
no,
Oh no.
no, he's not.
Oh
No.
no. I felt so sure.
hmm I wasn't sure until Mulder taped up the X, and then I was like, "Yeah, here we go. Finally, a scene
Oh,
with X." But no,
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
Oh
incredible, really.
no.
I'm sure it'll be in the next one. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure he will.
So, no, and in fact, I believe he's not in it because Mulder's dad calls him and says, I got to talk to you in person. Come up to Martha's Vineyard. And you can see Mulder looking at the X like, but I just put the X up. But he goes. And so Scully, meanwhile, has talked to a woman who works in DC as part of the Navajo Nation, and she's able to translate a few words. And she's like, I really only recognize these words. They stand out because they're modern. Like there's one that means like goods or merchandise, and one that says vaccination. But I'll put you in touch with a code talker who can help you.
I
And
remember
so
liking
then
that woman. I don't
you
know if
liked
she
her,
comes
you
back.
said, or you
Yeah,
did?
I
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
remember
liked her as
being like,
well.
she seems cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked her. She seemed like competent, intelligent, helpful. Um, yeah, I liked her. So Bill Mulder and Mulder, Fox Mulder are talking, and his dad's being kind of cryptic, but he's like, oh, it's simple now. It seemed so complicated then, and like you've been so smart for not throwing in with these people because once you do, their policies, their politics become yours. And he's like, look, it'll come out. You're going to hear words and you'll know what they mean. And Mulder's like, what words? And his dad is like, the merchandise, which was one of
Ooh,
the words. Yeah, I was like, which is one of the words
yeah.
that, the Navajo woman had said she recognized in the code. And so that's creepy. So his dad's like, I'll be right back. He goes to the bathroom and he's like looking at himself in the mirror. And it's kind of this like taking stock of himself moment and like what he's
Hmm.
doing. And then you see someone behind him. Would you like
Oh,
to guess who that is?
Krychek.
It is Krychek.
Ah!
Yes, he's back.
Ah!
Last we
Oh
saw
man.
Krychek, he disappeared after the incident with Scully getting abducted, and Dwayne Barry being captured
Wow.
and everything. Yeah,
Honestly, I kind of forgot about him. Like, I feel like that was played very well.
I
Like, there was a
agree.
lot of season two in between when we saw him
Yeah.
last.
The only reason I wasn't shocked is that I saw Nicholas Lee's name in the credits and I was like,
Ooh,
ooh. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I
Ooh,
remember
okay.
that feeling from college where we'd be watching a random episode and then you
Yeah,
see Nicholas Lee in the credits and it's like, oh, a Krychek episode.
yeah.
He kills him. He shoots Mulder's dad and kills him.
Yeah, as you're saying this, I'm remembering it, but for some reason I had it in my head that he died of like semi-natural causes. Like I thought I remembered
Huh.
him having a heart attack, but that must be Scully's dad that
Yeah,
I'm
you must be
remembering
thinking of
dying.
Scully's dad. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
forgot that he was killed.
yeah, this is as much natural causes as in like Dumb and Dumber when like these bad guys cut their parakeet's head off as like a warning and they're like, his head fell off. Well, he was getting old. And
I hate that movie so much, but that's really funny.
that's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course, because now I remember, I mean, there's like a whole big thing about Krychek killing Mulder's dad, but I
Yeah.
totally forgot.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
man.
didn't remember that he was going to do that. And more so, I was shocked it was in season two, that it was this early
Yeah.
on. I thought we had a
Hmm.
lot more scenes with Bill Mulder, and maybe they're just flashbacks. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to interrupt. Your hair looks really cute today, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
I'm really pleased with it. I'm just
Yeah.
getting sick of it like touching me and it
Mm.
like comes out of ponytails. And I thought if I put it in two braids, it'll stay contained and
Hmm.
it's contained and it's long enough to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cute.
yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Continue.
Um, so Mulder obviously comes running. He finds his dad's body. It's devastating. His dad says, "Forgive me," and then he dies. And then Mulder calls Scully, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And Scully's like, you should come back to DC. And he's like, well, if I'll look guilty if I run. And Scully's like, you're gonna look guilty regardless. Um, and she tells him, she's like, you can't go to your apartment though, because I was, oh my God, I forgot to tell you this. Oops, dropped a scene. After Scully talks to the code talker, she ducks back into Mulder's apartment to go find him, and he's already gone
Hmm.
to Martha's Vineyard, and someone shoots at her through the window.
Oh gosh, that's
And
right.
she ducks and like her head is grazed. And so,
Oh,
um,
wait, so she's
yeah,
in Mulder's apartment and is shot out from outside. Oh,
yeah,
okay, got it. Oh,
yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. Right through the window with the X on it. I don't know if that's meaningful or
Mm,
not. But
hmm
so she's like, you can't go back to your apartment. Somebody's trying to kill you. It's definitely because you have these documents. And so Mulder goes to her house. Yes.
I'm sorry. It seems like, wouldn't you just call 911? Like, is there a reason? Like, he didn't do anything. He has no reason to kill his father. Like, wouldn't you just call the police, or am I missing something?
I mean, would I? Yes. But like it's my take on it is that he's not doing that because of these files and because
Hmm.
they think it's all connected and they don't trust anyone. I
So they're just gonna
guess.
wait for him to be found? What is the plan? Like, just gonna like wait for his mom to come find his body? Because that seems
Well, I mean,
cruel.
they're divorced, so it'll be a while.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
yeah, yeah. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly.
Hmm.
It does. And maybe they do and they don't show it because they do reference something later about, oh, we'll compare the bullet to the one from found in the body.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
So
they
maybe
maybe are
they
just not
just,
showing it.
okay. All right. We'll assume that.
And so Scully takes care of Mulder. He goes to sleep. She gets him to like go lay down in bed. She's like, "You're clearly sick." She says later he had 102 fever, which I had last summer when I had COVID, and it is awful. That is a high fever, especially for an adult. Although I don't think I would have enjoyed it as a child. It was rough. That is a high fever. Um, so then in the morning, Mulder wakes up in bed, nothing but boxer briefs. I'm not going to complain. I was like, oh my God, out loud while watching it. So this is just like, this
Did
is a
Scully
really,
undress him?
I guess, I was kind of like,
Hmm.
what are we not seeing here? It was a very like
Mm-hmm.
tender moment where she's like taking care of him and then he's in bed fully clothed on top of the covers, wakes up in just his boxer briefs in bed. So I don't know. But he
Huh.
had
Okay.
102 fever at the same time. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Because his gun is gone.
Oh.
And oh, but yeah, I do want to say this is just like peak hot David Duchovny episode.
Oh.
And I mean he's being kind of a dick, but we'll find out why. But
Right.
he looks great and he's in like really like 90s clothes that look good today, like not super baggy jeans. He's in like a flannel and a t-shirt and it just looks really comfy and he just
Yeah.
looks really, really good. So
Yeah.
just want to
I
share that.
I know someone who has worked with David Duchovny. A
Oh,
friend's
right.
brother has worked with him
Right.
because he's a writer in LA. My friend's
Yeah.
brother is. And last time I saw her around Christmas, her brother was there too. And I texted her later and was like, I really want to ask your brother how David Duchovny smells. And she was like, well, I'm not going to ask him for you, but you can call him. I was like, no, I can't do that.
You should call him and we should record the call.
Oh, gosh, no.
That's the quality content our dozens of listeners would enjoy.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, I still
we'll
don't
work on
know.
that.
Still kind of want to ask. Mostly just want my friend to ask for me, though. I don't know her brother well enough for that to not seem
What if
so
I
insane.
ask?
Although I will say, um, a very kind colleague of ours emailed Zach and I asking if her family is getting rid of their like family piano. And she was like, I know it's so good for kids, and you guys have little kids. Would you like it? And like super, super thoughtful. And I just couldn't help myself because this is my first question. Do you want to guess what I emailed her to ask first before?
Is it haunted?
Yeah, it's
No, wait,
not.
really?
I mean, but yeah, that's what I asked her.
Oh, is it? But is it a haunted piece? Are you
Yes.
okay? Well, I gave you that bass guitar. Were you worried about it being haunted? I bought it
No.
used,
A
I
piano
think.
seems different though, doesn't it?
It's like a more haunted instrument. Look,
Yeah.
we've discussed what instruments are spooky on this podcast before
Yeah, that's
when
right.
our dad was hearing them. But
Yeah.
I
Um,
it would
it's
never in a
equally
million years cross my mind to think, is this piano haunted? I know you
really
asked your realtor if your
yeah.
house was haunted.
No, I didn't just ask our realtor. I emailed the previous owner.
Well, they're trying to sell it. What
Um,
are they going to tell you?
well,
They're going to be
no,
like,
no. This was
"Oh, the
after we
ghosts are
bought
great.
it.
They help you do the dishes." Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was
Um,
after we bought it, and
okay.
it had some pretty old like roller shade blinds that would pop up by
Hmm.
themselves. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I wanted to know if they were just old blinds or if I had something to worry about. Um, but yeah, it's equally funny because
It's something
this
to worry. I don't know. Something about if you had something to worry about is killing me. Like, I don't know.
the colleague of mine who I had to email about this. I emailed about this. Is also a psychology professor, which seems also pretty funny to me.
I also gotta say, why wouldn't you just take our mother's piano? Because A, you know she doesn't want it, and B, you know it's not haunted.
Well, because it's a lot easier to move one that someone would move into your house for free.
I don't think mom's gonna charge you.
Well, no. Pianos are really hard to move. Like you have
Okay,
to
and
like
it's
hire
further
people
away
to
and you have to
like
hire
drive it up.
people.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, continue on.
All right.
Enough
So,
of me.
but just remember, I haven't forgotten the plan I came up with in the last episode where we go to that haunted hotel in Chicago
Right.
and we record an episode.
I mean, are you footing the bill? Who's watching my children? Those are my main questions.
Okay. What if?
Oh, right. Zach would be staying at home. So
What if
the children
Zach?
are
Yeah,
taken
because
care of.
your original plan was that we do it with both our husbands, but that'll be
Yeah.
tougher with our schedules. What if I have a specific date, and what if I pay? I have a
Maybe.
weekend where I'm looking to do something because I have decided not to do a roller derby thing that weekend, and it's a whole
Hmm.
big thing that I'll tell you about when we're not recording. Um,
Great.
but
Okay,
last
we'll
weekend
talk
of
about it.
April, we'll
We'll talk
talk.
about it. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. This is gonna be amazing. Okay. So anyway, Mulder wakes up. He's pissed his gun is gone. Scully's like, I took it for ballistics testing so I can prove that it wasn't you. And he's like, no, you don't trust me. And he's real mad. And then Scully goes to Mulder's apartment to get the bullet out of the wall at who shot at her. And she sees this white van outside loading this big canister in it. And so then I'm like, oh, I remember this. She goes into the basement and there's all of these big canisters, like I think it's for like water softeners. And she can see that most of them are kind of corroded. They're old, but one is brand spanking new and all the connections are new. And she's like, something weird is going on here. And
Oh,
so
is
she
he
just,
being drugged?
yes.
Oh, no way. I forgot.
And not only is he being drugged, but his whole apartment complex is being drugged, or apartment building is being drugged. And that's why that
Oh,
woman shot her husband.
oh my God. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So he's being drugged. Mulder is then at the same time coming back to his apartment in a taxi and he sees somebody creeping around. It's Krychek. So Mulder grabs him, beats the shit out of him, and is like, did you kill my dad? He gets Krychek's gun. He's pointing the gun at him. Krychek's not talking. Scully comes up. She's got her gun on both of them and is like, Mulder, do not shoot him. She now knows something's wrong with Mulder. Like she doesn't know
right.
for sure what, but she knows he's been being drugged or tampered with or something. And so
Hmm.
she's like, do not kill him, Mulder. Mulder starts to squeeze the trigger, so she shoots Mulder.
That's right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, what an episode. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he wakes up. Scully's there. The older Navajo man is there, and they're in some random house, and he just seems like a little bit better. Like as soon as he wakes up, it was like a clean shot through his shoulder, so he's like he's doing okay. She says she drove for 2 days. They're in New Mexico, and this is the code talker that Scully was put in contact with from the woman that she spoke to in DC, but she's like, he says he already knew you were coming.
So I'm sorry. So she shoots him and then somehow drives him to New Mexico?
Yes, she shoots him, bandages him, puts him in the car, and drives him to New Mexico.
I suppose she is a physician. There are worse
Yeah.
people to carry out this plan.
and an excellent shot, I guess.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like it
Okay.
could have gone
Okay.
real wrong.
Yeah,
Um,
for real.
they really make it look like I said, I'm really sore today from having worked out a couple days ago, and I feel like Mulder is in about the same shape as me 2 days later,
Oh,
after
jeez.
being shot. Like he is having some trouble getting around. So am I. I'm kind of like, oh, when I stand up. He's like that if he has to stretch his arm out. So yeah, it was like the
I don't know
Black
if that
Knight or
says
whatever. It's no big
more
deal.
about TV and Mulder and Scully or you.
Or more about me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, probably a little from column A, a little from column
Yeah.
B. I'm
Yeah.
in rough shape. I
Oh,
uh
man.
I hadn't lifted in a while, and I went to the gym filled with some angry energy on Tuesday, and
Mm,
I was like,
hmm.
I lift weights, and I maybe overdid it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so the Navajo guy, whose name is Albert, has been working on decoding the files. And so far, what they know is that there is this conspiracy of silence since the 40s, and Scully's like, there's something out in the desert on this reservation. Albert will take you there once you're good enough, but I got to get back to DC because, I don't know what's going on with my job. I skipped a meeting with Skinner. And then she's like, there's something else. My name is in the files too, in late entries with Dwayne Barry's.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of like good moments narratively in this, like, ooh. Um, so Mulder goes with Albert to the reservation, and that's when Albert mentions Anasazi, and he says they're ancient aliens, is what it means, and he says historians say they disappeared without a trace, but nothing disappears without a trace. And it becomes clear that this guy's theory, Albert's theory, is that all of these people were abducted by aliens. And I can see from your face that you have things to say, and it is now your turn to say them.
Okay. I do indeed have things to say. So, where do I start? Okay. So people don't use the term Anasazi anymore to
Okay.
refer to this group of people. They are the ancestral Puebloans, or the
Okay.
ancestral Pueblo.
Okay.
Anasazi is a Navajo word that means ancient enemy. And it's
Oh, okay.
because there's aliens, but because the Puebloans were originally kind of enemies with the Navajo. The Puebloans are the ancestors of the modern day Hopi and Tanoans and Carasans. I'm not sure if I'm saying those last two right.
Okay.
Um, and so two things there. One is that was a term coming from people they had conflict with to refer to these people.
That makes sense.
Two, these are the ancestors of people that are now alive. They did not disappear without a trace. They just moved a little bit. Um, which, people do sometimes.
Hmm.
So there's some big misinformation. This is so one of their former residences is Chaco Canyon. And it's
We were
either,
just talking about Chaco Canyon.
yes, we
Oh,
were.
that's right, because you said
Hmm.
that is what he was researching for this episode.
Right. Hmm.
Frank Spotnitz was. Okay.
Yes. So there's Chaco Canyon and then Cowboy Wash. And this is all in the Four Corners region of the Southwest US now.
Okay.
And there's some evidence of cannibalism from those sites. So that's where we get the
Right.
stuff from last episode.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, no. So again, Anasazi is kind of a term that was made up by the, people that were in conflict with the Puebloans, and they did not disappear. They just kind of moved. Oh, that's where I was going with this, that um, this narrative of them disappearing is just some that partially just bad archaeology. Like people
Hmm.
just, finding things and sensationalizing them. You
Hmm.
also have to keep in mind that a lot of people, when some of the early archaeology was being done in this area were, I mean, pretty much just like straight up grave robbers. And
Okay.
so some of remains that might have been there have ended up in Wisconsin. I mean, like, people would just be
Oh,
like, I mean, I have read old letters. I won't say from where, but I have read old museum letters of people being like, I found this funeral urn and I brought it back with, it looks like there's remains and, this person looks different than us, so they must be the missing
God.
link. Like it was some real bad racist stuff.
Wow.
So we also have to keep in mind that there could be people that were buried there in a normal meaning, like in a timely manner, however they would
Hmm.
have been buried.
Hmm.
But they might have quote unquote disappeared because people just straight up took the
Got
evidence.
it. Yeah.
So
God.
that's
Okay.
what I have to say. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
that's what my face meant.
Got it. So Mulder hops on the motorbike with the teenage kid. They go into the desert. They see that what is buried there is a train car. They open it up, and in this refrigerated train car, whole bunch of bodies. And I gotta say, Mulder is
Oh.
getting fantastic cell phone reception. It is 1995. He's in the desert in the middle of nowhere inside a train car, and he calls Scully and gets through no problem.
And
So
yet
I
I
was
can't call
impressed.
people in 2024 in like parts of my sunroom.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So Scully says that they've done more translating and they found reference to experiments done in the US by former members of Axis powers after the war. And she says they were testing on humans. They refer to them as the merchandise.
oh, that is so gross.
Yeah. So this is where I went and talked to my historian, and I was like, because Adam is a special his specialty is modern Europe. He teaches classes on Nazi Germany, and I was like, what do you know? Like, was it known like Nazi scientists coming over to the US? And he said, well, of course, the most famous one is Werner von Braun, who is a big part of, he was building the rockets that were bombing Britain. But he said the US would just like I said, was it known in the 90s that we did this? And he said, sure, because the US would whitewash it and try to be like, they weren't really Nazis, these guys, they had to just like, in order to be okay and have their careers, they had to say some stuff, but they didn't do anything. And then he said Werner von Braun himself was a big, very good at being like, oh no, I just, I wasn't a real Nazi. But as Adam said, he was in the SS for God's sake, which apparently he's like, you gotta like prove ideologically that you are on board with this. That is like, those are the people that ran the camps. It was Hitler's bodyguards originally. There's weeks and weeks of like background checking. And so he's like, no, 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 he is. And he said it was like people brought over, mostly for like space race reasons, Cold War reasons. So a lot more with either weapons and rockets is why we brought over Nazis. And he said, and I really enjoyed this quote, that a lot of times people will say like, what's the term? Is there a term for people who like joined the Nazi party but they didn't believe at all in these things, but they just joined it like to advance their careers? And Adam says, oh yeah, we have a term for that. It's Nazi. They're Nazis. And
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's
he was
great.
like, it doesn't matter. When you sign on to that, you're a Nazi. And
Yeah.
and so I did ask, were there people known to be over here doing medical experiments or
Hmm.
anything like Mengele style stuff? And he
Right.
said no, not to his knowledge at all. That there was a lot of controversy because of all the Nazi medical experiments. There's controversy about what do we do with these findings because
Yeah.
they
Yep.
could be useful, but they're done. The means in which we got them are so horrible. But as not Nazi doctors were not brought over to his knowledge, so that seems like maybe more invented for the X-Files. Um, and so Mulder is looking at these bodies and he sees on the arm of, and he goes, these aren't human. These look like aliens, Scully. But then he
Hmm.
sees on one of the arms, there's a smallpox scar.
Oh, now we're getting to it.
Yeah.
I
Which
forgot about all the
also,
smallpox stuff.
yeah, isn't there also like a thing like that in Outlander?
Oh, The book Outlander, not the
The book
movie where there's
Outlander.
like, yeah. The book
No,
Outlander
you're
by
thinking of Highlander. That
Highlander. That's right.
yes, not There Can Be Only One.
Yeah.
The book
Um,
Outlander, and presumably the show, although I haven't watched it.
that's right. Yeah. The show is very good. It's pretty true to the
I've heard it's
books.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you're thinking of is that she is, well, I don't want to skip
Oh,
by
you
like
know what?
30
It's fine.
seconds.
We
Okay.
won't say it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It
Just
is there,
everyone should
but
go read Outlander.
yeah.
It's a
Oh, yeah.
fantastic series.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it. But people are protected for having smallpox scars, and it's a big deal. And I think that's what you're thinking of. Yeah.
Yes. So, a helicopter shows up. Cigarette smoking man is in it. And the military jumps out and they like all go in and they can't find Mulder. And the teenage kid is like, I'm not saying anything. And and the military is like, he vanished without a trace. And cigarette smoking man is like, nothing vanishes without a trace. Kind of echoing the Anasazi thing, but I don't know why. And then he goes, burn it. And they explode the train car.
With the kid inside?
No, the kid is out, but where is
okay.
Mulder? Last we saw, Mulder was inside the train car.
Oh, God, that's right. And that's how the season ends, right?
Yes, that is how the season ends.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
It's quite an ending. And I gotta say, I was like, didn't you just tell his dad that you don't want to make him a murderer and you're not going to kill him? You were very quick to say burn it. But I don't remember how they get out of this. Obviously, they do.
I do. I remember. I do. I remember. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you, but I remember.
No, don't. Awesome.
Yeah. Wow. That is intense. Man, that is a good episode.
It was very good. I love these types of episodes. It was exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. The quote from Adam about we call those people Nazis, which is like so powerful. It reminded me of in grad school, I was taking biological anthropology, and it was like a seminar style class. And so, there was a group of maybe like 18 of us, and we're talking with our professor, Trudy Turner, who is, I actually have a framed photo behind me of me and Dr. Turner last year at a conference. She is like one of my heroes. And we were talking about primates, and she's a primatologist, and someone raised their hand and was like, we talk about like primate conservation, and, is there any, do people ever say like, well, we should just kind of let nature take its course and just kind of, like if there's a species in danger, just kind of, let it go extinct. And Dr. Turner just goes, yeah, they're called Republicans. And then immediately was like, oh, I'm sorry. But it was great.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like an 80-year-old woman. And it was just like a thing of beauty.
That's awesome.
That reminded me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow. So that's the season ender. I don't think it's me and your season ender because we can keep recording. I don't think you and I need to take a break yet. We can talk about it.
Yeah, not yet. Right. Yeah, we'll have to talk. It's March. So
it is March. It'll be April when you hear this, but early April.
Right. We might split up our seasons based more on our schedule than the X-Files. So we'll have to see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Besides, we're going to have to record in that haunted hotel. So that'd be a good season ender. Ooh.
We'll talk about it. About it. I'm open to the discussion.
Okay. Very good.
All right. Well, thank you. Next up is season 3, episode 1, The Blessing Way.
The Blessing Way. All right.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye.